Hello, and welcome to How to Develop an Awesome Mission Statement. My name is Cheryl Smith. I am the CEO for Doolin Nonprofit Services and the Community Heroes Program. We support nonprofit founders anywhere in the U.S. I am a nonprofit expert with more than 20 years of experience in this third sector, and I will be your host for the training today. I like to begin and end my trainings with a motivational thought. Today's thought is from Mahatma Gandhi, who once said, "A small body of dedicated spirits fired by an unquenchable faith in their mission can alter the course of human history." Wow, I love this quote, and it's particularly timely for today's webinar because many nonprofits are formed out of faith that the world has boundless potential to truly thrive under the right guidance. And if you're on this webinar, I imagine that you are also a part of a larger solution to balance glaring imbalances that you find in your community and the world around us. So this mini training was written for you. It was written to help you draft a mission statement that helps you to illuminate your organization's purpose and direction to the world. Our agenda is super simple. We're going to look at mission statement purpose. We're going to look at mission statement advantages, and we're also going to look at how to design and draft a mission statement for you. I figure if we're going to talk about mission statements, we should probably first define it. A mission statement is a short formal statement of why your organization exists in the first place. Also, it's going to express your overall goals. So the mission statement in essence is your foundation. It shapes and influences everything your organization stands for and does. Your mission statement not only reveals what your organization is going to do, it also reveals how and why the organization does what it does. It's common to also include people, places, or things that will benefit from your services. One of the questions I get on a regular basis as a nonprofit expert is, what is the difference between a mission statement and a vision statement? Well, in short, mission statements look at what's wrong in the world and how you're going to fix it. Whereas the vision statement looks at what the world would look like after you finish changing it for the better. And so, if we think about a mission statement in terms of the what and the vision statement in terms of the how, we can see that mission statements are statements of action. They tell what you're going to do to fix the imbalance in the world. And your vision statements are statements based on your foresight or your dream of what the world could look like when it's in perfect balance. So, vision statements reflect your higher purpose and why you do what you do each day. And to illustrate, let's look at these three examples. The Nature Conservancy, their mission statement is to conserve the land and waters on which all land or life, depends. And so why would they do this? Well, their why is they envision a sustainable world for future generations. They want to leave a better world. That's why they do what they do each day. If we consider Oxfam, their mission is to create lasting solutions to poverty, hunger, and social injustice. And if we give thought to, well, why would they do that? Well, they envision a world without poverty. And in order to do that or get to that world, they're going to create lasting solutions. And lastly, if we look at Save the Children, their mission is to inspire breakthroughs in the way the world treats children and to achieve immediate and lasting change in their lives. And so, why would they do that? Well, Save the Children envisions a world in which every child attains the right to survival, protection, development, and participation. And you can see where we're going with this. And so, this training is about helping you develop your mission statement. And so, as you start to do that, we want you to consider why. Why would you do the things that you're planning to do? Now, let's consider the advantages as we scoot on over to why mission statements are even important. There are three advantages that I'd like to point out. The first is mission statements are important to help you clarify your purpose and determine your direction. And so, what do I mean by that? Well, no organization can or should prioritize everything. You can't be all things to all people everywhere. Your mission statement helps you to draft or to clarify what you should be focusing on. In fact, a good mission statement serves as your North Star for the nonprofit. It's a foundation for your strategies and guides the development and implementation of all of your activities. And that's one reason, big reason, but one reason why your mission statement is important. A second reason is the image and influence that you project. Mission statements influence how organizations should act and heavily influences the roles of employees and volunteers that dedicate their time and service to the organization. A mission statement influences and shapes your organization's public image as well, as it paints a very vivid image, or it should paint a vivid image of the work that you do to bring about the change that you wish to see. And lastly, we're going to point out that mission statements are important because they provide a framework for decision making. When you have a well defined mission statement, it's going to provide your nonprofit with a framework for making all of your future decisions. Your nonprofit mission statement can help you evaluate different options and decide what's best for your nonprofit according to your preferred future or vision. And so, as we consider our advantages, one of the things we want to think about is the best mission statements are 20 words or less. And I know that seems like it's small, it's a small number of words to have, but you really want to be able to be concise, but not too concise. We want to have more than a few words. And so, because we want to make sure we cover these three things here, we want to make sure we cover your why, your whom, and your how, why you exist, whom you serve, and how you serve them. And so, we want to make sure that we do that. And so, we don't want to go from the far right to the far left. We also don't want mission statements that are just really busy with words that, do a lot of talking, but what are they really saying? We really want to give thought to our direction and give thought to how we can convey that direction in a concise manner. And believe it or not, there are a lot of organizations that are out there that do that, but there are some that don't. There's actually a such thing as worst mission statements. I think it's INC that has a list of them. And to give you an example of that, this particular mission statement is to improve the lives of women globally, and our core cause areas of breast cancer and violence against women. We aim to accelerate progress, accountability, and discovery while also reducing the social stigma that sometimes keeps these issues in the shadows. We take a woman-centric approach on all projects to break through traditional barriers and build a better future for women, because we know that the greater the support, the more empowered women feel to take control of their health and safety. Now, yes, that's a mission statement, and it's actually a mission statement from Avon. Now, I know, like, and trust Avon. I'm sure, I'm going to date myself now, but when I was a young child, the women I knew sold Avon. So there's nothing against the product or the company themselves, but they actually made the list of the worst mission statements because this is 85 words. It took them to explain just a few things. I can tell you, because I write mission statements on a regular basis, that as I was even reading this 85-word mission statement, I immediately thought, how can we shrink this? How can we make this, a little smaller? And so this one, maybe 20 words, I'll have to count, you guys. But as I was reading, this is what I came up with. Truly, what are you saying? Our mission statement is to improve the lives of women globally by providing support that empowers them to take control of their health and safety. And because it sounds to me, and this is one person's opinion, strictly my opinion, don't speak for the world, that we can convey all of those same things in that short, concise statement. But get this, literally, and I kid you not, I'm a writer by nature. So as I was even writing the shorter one, I even thought of a more concise statement that you really just want to improve the lives of women globally. Now, what it doesn't say is the why, but it does go into the fact that, you care about women globally, you care about their life. And so they made that list when they really could have shortened a lot of these words down to just 20. Many people don't want to read this, long paragraph. Literally long paragraph to get to the mission. And so be careful of that. If you're one of the nonprofits out there that did decide to go that route and your mission statement's a little lengthy, it doesn't have to be. Take what you've written, because your words are valuable, but then look at how you can refine it to really still capture the essence of what you want to say, but in shorter words to convey that thought. And so as we move on over into our design, when we think about design, I think about three things, and we're sticking with, I guess, the number three here. And so the first is to make it clear. Einstein once said, if you can't explain it simply, then you don't understand it well enough. And give thought to that statement. If you've got to take 85, 100 words, a paragraph, just to convey what your mission is, do you really understand your direction and where you're going with it? So we want to make it clear, but we also want to make it informative, and we want to make it concise. Remember, under 20 words if possible. And so when we think about making it clear and concise, one of the things that we could do is look at similar mission statements. We know that if you're on this, training, you're probably a nonprofit or charitable program. And so look at other mission statements to see what they may have to say. Think about using a team approach. Just like your nonprofit has a board or should have a board, and so that you're not using just your brain alone, you want to look at the opinions of other people who are also passionate about your mission and ask them, for some feedback. And, there's a couple of questions as you're gathering your feedback, and we're going to look at this on the next slide that you could ask. And then lastly, after you've looked at other nonprofit example mission statements, after you've involved your team and asked and answered some key questions, then we're going to get on down to the nitty gritty. We're going to actually draft and select the right mission statement for our organization. And so let's come over here and just take a peek at what Top Nonprofits has to say about it, because they're an online website, that has focused on looking at some of the 50 greatest nonprofit mission statements. And believe it or not, they've also even graded them for readability, reach, and grade level, because that's important. You want people to be able to read it. And so let's pick one here. There's a couple. Well, we just actually talked about Oxfam. So let's look at Oxfam. Theirs is to create lasting solutions to poverty. Remember that? Hunger and social injustice. That was 10 words. And so they accomplished what they wanted to accomplish in 10 short words. And some of these, and let's see if we pause it. Let's look and see an A. That's an A. The Hefner International. Their mission is to work with communities to end hunger and poverty and care for the earth. They actually got an A for just being clear and concise and able to reach the folks they want to reach. And look at that, they're a 7th grade reading level. And so that means that most people reading this would be able to understand exactly what it is that they're doing. Now, some of the mission statements didn't get pretty good grades. And so you'll probably pause this on your own to take a peek and look at the difference between some of the mission statements and why they earned, say, an A. That was another one of ours, versus, say, an E and Create Commons. So let's just read theirs. Theirs is to develop supports and stewards legal and technical infrastructure that maximizes digital creativity, sharing, and innovation. Now, I'm sure they do a wonderful job. Let's give them credit for whatever the job it is that they do out there. However, it confused me. I'm not really sure exactly what they do. Maybe that's why they got the E there. They have an 18th grade or second year master student level reading grade level. And so their reach, most people won't be able to understand that, because you're speaking to a higher degreed, population, and everybody in the world didn't have a master's degree. So you want to make sure that it's completely easy, simple, and readable. And so as you're putting yours together, take a peek at that. Take a peek at some of these, these differences in how you can actually undertake the design so that it's readable for people who are interested in your nonprofit. We want to keep them interested. You see, we got some C's and D's there. Cleveland Clinic, that's one of the first nonprofits, I think. Theirs is to provide better care of the sick, investigation into their problems, and further education of those who they serve. And so that's a 10th grade reading level. So they're a little better than the last one, but they could probably, get a better reach if they were, a better reading grade level. And so there's several here to look at. Teach America is there. Save the Children, we just looked at. Lots of good ones. Doctors Without Borders, wow, they got a D. And so Feeding America, that is one of the largest nonprofits in the world. And theirs is to feed America's hungry through a nationwide network of member food banks and engage our country in the fight to end hunger. And they are a 10th grade reading level. And so it goes on, but if you want to actually look into some of this, there's NPR got an E. That actually is surprising to me. We recorded this and I didn't see that. But if we want to look to see what these really mean, there is some definitions here for readability and for reach and for grade level, so that you can go to the website and actually investigate this a little bit more. And as you can see at the very top, I've got topnonprofits.com examples. And so you can literally go here to look at this more thoroughly. And you might even consider looking here as you're creating your own mission statement. So that's enough at looking at similar mission statements. Now let's go ahead and look at the team approach and what kind of questions should we be asking. And so when we think about designing our mission statement, we're looking at asking ourselves and our team basic questions about the organization. Like, what is it that we do? Why do we, why does it matter what we do? Why does it even matter to us or to others? Who does it matter to? How does it make a difference? And so we don't want to be haphazard and just throw up any word because we don't want to do the work. We actually want to spend a little time putting it together. And so these are examples here off to the side are kind of funny. And so this mission statement process is they are literally filling in the blanks. Now I'm going to have you all fill in blanks too, but we're not just going to fill it in with cliches and then another cliche and then yet another cliche, long-winded phrase. And so we really want to give, oh my gosh, this is for them, slide 1 of 42. I promise we don't have 42 slides here. But in your process of developing your mission statement and you getting your team together, you just want to make sure that you don't just have it as a, let's check this off our to-do list, that you really want to give time to the process. And so let me share with you, I'm going to cut your time in half so you don't have to have 42 slides of things that you could do to bring together your mission statement. We're going to do it in just 2. How about that? 2 slides. So our first slide is our design. So as we think about what our design might look like, this is one of the things that I use. I use a couple of different ones, but I like this particular template because if you see, it says our mission is to, why do you exist? By, what do you do? And who do you do it for? And 2, why it matters. And so let's plug that into homelessness. I usually, I don't know why, but I focus in on homelessness. So our example here is our mission is to alleviate homelessness by providing shelter and resources that will help unemployed and underemployed individuals regain self-sufficiency. So we did make our 20, we got this in 20 words. And so did we follow direction? Our mission is to why we exist. We exist to alleviate homelessness. What do? We provide shelter and resources. Who do we do it for? Those who are underemployed and unemployed. And why does it matter? We want them to be self-sufficient. You see how that works? And so you could literally just take this template right there. And our mission is to, why you exist, by, what do you do, and who do you do it for, and why it matters. Now, I'm going to simplify it even more because you may not want to have 20 words. It might be hard to get this particular, your particular mission into 20 words using this example. So I want you to know you can be flexible. You don't have to stick with this. Let me show you one where there's flexibility. And so if we think about the design, we keep the, why you exist, what you do, who you do it for, but let's get a little creative with it. Let's not follow all the guidelines. Let's see if we can still accomplish something. So using the same mission statement that we had before, let's go ahead and look at it shortened. Our mission is to unlock housing possibilities for low-income individuals by providing affordable housing, education, and resources. And so you see we changed it around. We have the premise of our template above, but we changed it around a little bit to say, what do we do, whom we do it for, and how we'll do it. So we just, we didn't have everything, but we condensed this particular same organization. And you see how we're using words, same organization doing the same thing, but we used less words and we were a little bit more concise. And we can even shorten it a little bit more if we got a little more flexible or creative. So our mission is to foster self-sufficiency. See, we mentioned that we want them to be self-sufficient among the homeless population through creative workforce development, training, and job placement. Same organization. And you can see how we've just gotten a little more flexible with it. And trust me, you can get even more flexible than this. You can narrow it even further down. But just so you know, this is the same organization doing the same things, but you can see how we use words just to either bring our point across in a creative, manner, and also to make sure that we're refined and that our sentence is one sentence and that it's concise. And so that is one of the ways that you guys can do it. There's several, but that's what I tend to focus on, because I like to focus on short and sweet, but meaningful. And I think that does the job. And so, as promised, we're going to end with the thought. Our ending thought is, without a mission statement, you may get to the top of the ladder and then realize it was leaning against the wrong building. And that's by Dave Ramsey. And so mission statements are so important, because if you have in your mind an idea of what you want to accomplish, but you don't take the time to really pour in and create a mission statement that's reflective of who you are, what you do, why you do it, and who you do it for, then you might end up with a statement that really doesn't even reflect what you're about or what your true intentions were. Remember that vision? It was your outcome or your dream. We don't want to create a fancy mission statement that has nothing to do with our overall vision. So keep that in mind as well. Um, this has been my pleasure, as always, bringing this training to you. It is now your turn to design your mission statement. And if you are super pleased with your mission statement and like to send it to us so that we can put it on display, we would love to. So thank you for tuning in. We, as always, appreciate you. Serving the nonprofit community is what we do, and you are the best gift.